So one of the most common questions that I'm getting now is, how do I make sure that the PPP loan that I got is forgiven? Now, the PPP loan is one of the most is the most common source of funding for businesses and small businesses during the COVID-19 crisis. So we're going to go through some of the criteria and strategies to make sure that the loan is forgiven. Okay, so let's talk about the rules first. So as soon as you get a loan, you have 24 weeks to spend the money. 60% of the money has to be spent on payroll costs, and 40% does not have to be payroll costs. It could be spent on really any type of business expense. So now that we've gotten the 40% out of the way, let's talk about some of the criteria, some of the expenses that are eligible. Okay, so when you compensate an employee, you're able to pay an employee $46,154 during the 24-week period, which is basically $100,000 allocated over 24 weeks, and you can have that portion forgiven. You can also pay for employee benefits. You can also pay for pension-related expenses and state unemployment insurance. Unfortunately, an owner is limited to a maximum of $20,833, and the way you figure it is you take the 2019 or 2020 payroll costs, whatever the salary was. Let's say if you base the salary on $50,000, at that point you're only eligible for approximately $10,400. But if, let's say, it's based on a $100,000 salary, then you can take the maximum of $20,833. Okay, so you have to make sure that these expenses are paid throughout the year. Again, 40% non-payroll costs, 60% in payroll costs. A big development in this is that earlier in the year, Congress passed a bill that allows businesses that take the PPP to also be eligible for what's called the Employee Retention Credit. Up until earlier this year, a business that took a PPP loan would not be eligible for the Employee Retention Credit, so that wasn't even something that was discussed. So now that that is the case, you want to make sure when you apply for forgiveness not to put too much in payroll costs, because you want to make sure to coordinate that properly with the Employee Retention Credit. So many of my clients, I'm telling them to hold off on forgiveness so as to make sure that we're able to figure it out and coordinate and prepare the payroll returns and the PPP forgiveness together, kind of coordinated, to make sure they maximize the credit. So those are some of the considerations. That employee retention credit could be really huge, up to $10,000 in 2020 and up to $28,000 in 2021. But again, you have to coordinate it right, and that's something that I'm helping my clients with, and it's a very important area.